Captain San Harris looked out the main view screen of the Earth vessel Horizon as it dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The blue-green planet of Kepler 186f filled the display, swirling with clouds that reminded him of Earth. "Scan complete, Captain," said Greg Peters, the science officer. His fingers moved quickly across the control panel. "Atmosphere is breathable. Gravity is about 0.65 of Earth normal. Temperature ranges from 50 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit in the landing zone." San nodded. "Sounds like a walk in the park compared to our training in the Atacama Desert." Donna Green, the ship's pilot, laughed. "After 2 years in deep space, any solid ground sounds good to me." The Horizon was humanity's first true deep space vessel. Its mission was simple: find out if Earth was alone in the universe. Now, after years of travel, they had their answer. The scan showed clear signs of civilization on the planet below. "I'm picking up radio signals," said Alan Wright, the engineer. His eyes widened. "They're responding to our greeting message. They're sending coordinates for landing." Lisa Stewart, the medical officer, looked worried. "Should we really land right away? We don't know anything about these aliens." Sam understood her concern. This was first contact, the moment humans had wondered about for centuries. "We follow protocol. Full environmental suits, weapons secured but accessible. We came in peace, but we're not foolish." 6 hours later, the Horizon's landing craft touched down in what appeared to be a city outskirts. The structures were unlike anything on Earth, curved, flowing buildings that seemed to grow from the ground itself. Radiation levels normal. Air quality good. "No detected biological threats," Greg reported, checking his scanner. A group of tall, thin beings approached. They walked slowly, their movements careful and precise. They had 4 arms, skin that shimmered with a faint blue glow, and large eyes that blinked sideways. "Universal Translator is running," Alan said. "Let's hope it works." Sam stepped forward. "I am Captain Sam Harris of the Earth vessel Horizon. We come in peace and friendship." The tallest alien raised its upper arms in what seemed like a greeting. "Welcome, Earth beings. I am First Scholar Zin of the Veldari Conclave. Your arrival was unexpected." The translation worked. Sam felt a wave of relief. The aliens led them into one of the buildings. Inside, the gravity felt even lighter, and the humans found themselves bouncing slightly with each step. "Please sit," said Zin, pointing to cushions on the floor. "Your message said you come from the 3rd planet of your star. Is that correct?" "Yes," Sam replied. "We call it Earth." The aliens looked at each other. One of them said something the translator didn't catch. "Is something wrong?" asked Donna. "We are surprised," Zin said slowly. "Your movements are very quick and strong. And you said your home gravity is 1.5 times stronger than here." Greg nodded. "That's right. Earth has stronger gravity, more radiation, and more extreme weather than your world." The aliens seemed shocked. They spoke rapidly among themselves. Finally, Zin turned back to them. "Captain Harris, in our understanding of the galaxy, planets like yours are classified as Deathworlds. Environments so harsh that sentient life rarely evolves there. Yet you move and act as if our world is the strange one." Lisa leaned forward. "What exactly is a Deathworld?" "A planet with high gravity, intense radiation, extreme temperature variations, dangerous predators, or natural disasters," Zin explained. "Most sentient species in the Galactic Confederation evolved on worlds like ours, stable, gentle environments." Sam looked at his crew. The realization hit them all at once. Earth wasn't average. It was harsh and deadly by galactic standards. "How do you even survive such conditions?" asked another Veldari. Alan laughed. "We don't just survive. We thrive in them." The Veldari scientists were fascinated. They asked to examine the humans, amazed by their muscle density, bone strength, and healing abilities. "Your cellular regeneration is remarkable," said a Veldari doctor, looking at a small cut on Lisa's hand that was already healing. "And your endurance. Our people would die of exhaustion doing what you consider light exercise." Sam realized this changed everything. Humans weren't just another species joining the galactic community. They were the strong ones. 2 weeks after first contact, the crew of the Horizon stood in a massive dome-shaped room. The Galactic Confederation Council had called an emergency meeting to discuss the humans. "I don't like how they're looking at us," whispered Donna to Greg. "Like we're some kind of monsters." The council chamber held representatives from 27 different alien species. All of them shared the same basic traits as the Veldari: thin bodies, careful movements, and obvious caution. Some had scales, others fur, and a few were even gaseous beings in special containers. But all of them seemed physically fragile compared to humans. A tall Veldari in golden robes stood. "The council recognizes First Diplomat Kel of the Veldari Conclave." Kel looked at the human delegation. "Honored members of the council, we have verified that these humans indeed come from what we would classify as a Class 5 Deathworld. Their planet Earth has gravity 1.5 times our standard, radiation levels that would kill most of us within days, extreme weather patterns, thousands of natural toxins, and predators that would be classified as apex threats on any of our worlds." Murmurs spread through the chamber. Yet despite these conditions, or perhaps because of them, humans have developed remarkable physical and mental capabilities. Ambassador Jack Taylor will demonstrate. Jack stepped forward. He was a muscular man chosen specifically for this mission. Without special equipment, he jumped 3 meters into the air, lifted a metal bar that would require 4 Veldari to move, and held his breath for over 3 minutes. The council members watched in shock. One of them, a small purple being, trembled visibly. "The humans call their planet Earth. We would call it a nightmare," Kel continued. "They have evolved to survive conditions that none of us could endure. Their bones are nearly unbreakable by our standards. Their muscles are incredibly dense. They can survive radiation doses that would kill any of us. They can even regenerate damaged tissue at rates we find astonishing." A different alien stood up. This one had 6 eyes arranged in a circle around its head. "Are we to believe they are not a threat? Any species evolved in such conditions must be naturally aggressive." Sam Harris stepped forward. "We come in peace. Yes, our world shaped us to be strong, but it also taught us cooperation. We survived because we worked together, not because we fought each other." The 6-eyed alien wasn't convinced. The Drax also claimed to come in peace, and now they control 7 star systems. They evolved on a mild death world, and look at the damage they've caused. These humans come from a world far harsher. This was the first time the crew had heard of the Drax. Sam looked at Kel, who nodded slightly. "The council must vote," announced the leader. "Should humans be granted provisional membership in the Confederation, or should Earth be quarantined as a potential threat?" While the council debated, Donna and Greg explored the massive space station where the meeting was held. They gained access to a public database terminal. "Look at this," Donna said, pointing at the screen. "The Confederation has identified 14 other planets they classify as Deathworlds with potential intelligent life, but they avoid all contact with them." Greg studied the data. "They're scared of us. All of us. Anyone from a world like Earth." "Can you blame them?" Donna asked. "You saw how they reacted when Jack simply jumped. Imagine if they knew about our military capabilities." "But there's something else," Greg said, digging deeper into the files. "This Drax Empire they mentioned. They're at war with them, and they're losing." Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors. "Warning. Drax vessels detected. Prepare for defensive measures," announced a computerized voice. Donna and Greg ran back toward the council chamber. On the way, they felt the station shake from weapons fire. They arrived to find chaos. Council members were panicking, some trying to reach escape pods. Sam grabbed them. There you are. The station's under attack. The Dracs somehow knew about this meeting. It gets worse, said Alan, joining them. They hit the gravity regulators. Some sections of the station are now at Earth normal gravity. Lisa pointed down a corridor where several alien guards had collapsed. They can't even stand up. The Confederation security forces are useless in our gravity. Sam looked at his crew. Well, then it looks like it's up to us to defend this station. The crew of the Horizon checked their weapons. For the first time, the Confederation would see what humans from a Deathworld could really do. The Horizon crew moved through the space station with ease, while alien bodies lay slumped on the floor, crushed by the Earth normal gravity. Sam led the way, his gun ready. The council chamber is just ahead, Lisa said. We need to make sure the representatives are safe. They entered the large dome room to find several council members struggling to move. The Veldari representative, Kel, was trying to reach an emergency console. Captain Harris, Kel called weakly. The Dracs. They knew exactly when to attack. Sam helped Kel to a seat. Save your strength. We'll handle this. Alan checked his scanner. I'm picking up 12 Drax soldiers heading this way. They're moving faster than the Confederation aliens, but not as fast as us. They're from a milder Deathworld, Greg recalled. They can function in higher gravity, but they're not as strong as humans. Sam made a quick plan. Donna, take the left corridor. Greg, the right. Lisa and Alan, stay here and protect the council. I'll take the center approach. The humans moved to their positions just as the first Drax soldiers appeared. They were larger than the Veldari, with thick gray skin and 4 eyes. They carried energy weapons and moved with purpose. Sam fired first, taking down 2 Drax before they knew what hit them. The Drax were shocked by his speed and accuracy. Donna flanked them from the left, using her smaller size to duck behind columns and fire from unexpected angles. Greg used his scientific knowledge to overload a power conduit, creating a barrier of electrical energy that trapped 3 more Drax. The battle lasted only minutes. When it was over, all 12 Drax soldiers were either unconscious or restrained. Not a single council member had been harmed. The 6-eyed alien who had spoken against humans earlier stared at Sam in disbelief. You moved so fast, like nothing I've ever seen. Just doing our job, Sam replied, helping a fallen Confederation guard. On Earth, we're trained to protect others. The station's gravity slowly returned to normal as repair crews fixed the damaged regulators. The council members regained their ability to move, watching with new respect as the humans helped everyone who was injured. The Drax ship is retreating, announced a Confederation officer. They failed to capture any council members, thanks to the humans. The council leader approached Sam. Captain Harris, we owe you and your crew a great debt. You risked your lives to save ours. It wasn't much of a risk, Lisa said as she treated a cut on Alan's arm. Our bodies are built to handle stress and injury. This is nothing compared to what we train for on Earth. The council gathered in emergency session. This time, there was no debate about quarantine. Instead, they talked about alliance. The Confederation has been fighting the Drax Empire for 70 years, explained the council leader. They have conquered 7 systems and killed billions. We cannot match their physical abilities or their aggression. But you can, added Kel, looking at the humans. You are stronger, faster, and more resilient than even the Drax. And unlike them, you value peace and cooperation. Sam understood what they were asking. You want us to fight your war. We want Earth to join the Confederation as full members, the council leader clarified. And yes, we would welcome human assistance against the Drax threat. That night, the crew gathered in their quarters to discuss the offer. They're scared of us, but they need us, Donna said. I'm not sure how I feel about that. The Drax are conquering peaceful worlds, Greg pointed out. If we can help stop that, shouldn't we? Alan nodded. Plus, This gives us access to their technology, their star maps. Humanity could advance centuries overnight. Lisa looked concerned. But we'd be sending soldiers into a war that isn't ours. Sam thought about the fear he'd seen in the aliens' eyes when Jack had demonstrated human abilities. And then he thought about how that fear had turned to hope when the humans defended them. Maybe this is exactly why Earth evolved the way it did, Sam said quietly. Maybe the galaxy needs what a Deathworld creates. The crew looked at each other, knowing their decision would change humanity's future forever. 6 months after the attack on the Confederation station, Captain Sam Harris stood on the bridge of a new ship. The Tenacity was built with a combination of Earth and Confederation technology. It was bigger than the Horizon with room for 200 human crew members. All systems ready, Captain, said Donna Green from the pilot's seat. She had a new uniform now, with patches showing both Earth and Confederation symbols. Deathworld Corp ready for deployment, reported the combat team leader. Sam nodded. Take us into jump space. The Tenacity shot forward, stars stretching into lines around them. Their mission was to free a Confederation mining colony that the Drax had taken over 3 years ago. It would be the first real test of the newly formed Deathworld cores. When Earth had joined the Confederation, thousands of humans volunteered to help fight the Drax. The aliens were amazed at human endurance, strength, and problem-solving skills. Humans could fight in gravity that crushed other species. They could survive exposure to radiation and toxic environments that would kill Confederation soldiers instantly. The Tenacity dropped out of jump space near a small rocky planet. Scans show 50 Drax ships in orbit, Greg Peters said from the science station, and about 500 Drax soldiers on the surface. There are still 3,000 Confederation miners being held prisoner. Sam looked at the tactical display. The Drax expect us to attack head-on. They don't know humans yet. We'll show them something new. Instead of attacking the main Drax fleet, the Tenacity used its advanced cloaking technology to slip past them. They landed a small team of 40 humans on the far side of the planet, where sensors showed toxic gas vents. No Drax guards here, Alan Wright reported from the landing zone. They can't survive these gas levels without full protection suits, and they don't expect anyone to come this way. Perfect, Sam replied from the ship. Proceed with Phase 2. While the Tenacity created a distraction by attacking some of the Drax ships in orbit, Alan's team moved through the toxic zone. The humans wore only light-breathing masks, their bodies naturally more resistant to the chemicals that would kill other species. They reached the mining colony's back entrance within an hour. The Drax guards were shocked when human soldiers appeared suddenly from a direction they thought was a natural barrier. The battle was quick and one-sided. Humans moved faster, hit harder, and fought more creatively than the Drax expected. Within 3 hours, all Drax soldiers on the ground were either captured or defeated, and the miners were free. We did it, Lisa Stewart said as she treated the freed miners. Not a single civilian casualty. But as the team searched the Drax base, they found something disturbing. Ellen discovered a hidden laboratory where the Drax had been conducting experiments. Captain, you need to see this, Alan called over the radio. They'd been testing their own soldiers, exposing them to higher gravity, more radiation, and various toxins. Sam and Greg arrived at the lab and studied the Drax records. They're trying to make themselves stronger, Greg said. They're attempting to speed up evolution, to make themselves more like us. In one chamber, they found a Drax soldier strapped to a table. Unlike the others they had fought, this one had denser muscles and thicker skin. According to these records, they were exposing him to double their normal gravity, Alan said. They're trying to create super soldiers. Sam looked troubled. They know they can't beat us as they are now. So they're trying to become more like Deathworlders. In another room, they found a strange shrine. At its center was a hologram showing a planet with violent storms, active volcanoes, and a heavy atmosphere. "What is this place?" Sam asked. Greg studied the writing on the walls. "They call it the Origin. It seems to be some kind of holy site for the Dracs." "Wait." He looked closer at the data. "According to these readings, this planet has gravity almost twice that of Earth." "You think this is where the Dracs came from?" asked Alan. "I think," said Sam slowly, "that we might not be the only true Deathworlders in the galaxy after all." The discovery of the Origin planet changed everything. After their successful mission, Sam presented their findings to the Confederation Council. He showed images of the Drax experiments and the shrine they had found. "We request permission to investigate other Deathworlds," Sam said to the Council. "The Confederation database has identified several planets with conditions similar to Earth, but you've avoided them. We need to find out if there are other species like us." The Council members looked nervous. Finally, the leader spoke. "This knowledge is dangerous, Captain Harris, but we cannot deny that your people have proven valuable allies. You have permission to explore these worlds." 2 weeks later, the Tenacity arrived at the first planet on their list, HD 85,512 bits. From orbit, it looked uninhabitable. Massive storms swept across the surface. Volcanoes spewed ash into the thick atmosphere. The gravity was 1.3 times Earth normal. "Scans show no obvious signs of civilization," Greg reported. "But there's something strange. I'm detecting energy readings underground." Sam made his decision. "Donna, find us a safe landing spot. Alan, prepare a ground team. We're going to take a closer look." The landing craft shook violently as it descended through the stormy atmosphere. Donna's skilled hands kept them steady until they touched down on a rocky plain. "Air is toxic," Greg said, checking his equipment. "Radiation levels are high, but within our tolerance. Gravity is heavy, but manageable." The team of 10 humans stepped out wearing environmental suits. They had walked less than a mile when the ground opened beneath them. They fell into a smooth tunnel that spiraled downward. Before they could react, they landed in a large chamber surrounded by armed figures. These beings were shorter than humans, but stocky and powerful. They had thick gray skin with patterns of ridges. Their eyes were large and dark, adapted for low light. "Stop," San called out, holding up his hands. "We come in peace. We are from Earth." The beings looked surprised. One stepped forward. "You walk on the surface, without proper protection." "How?" "We evolved on a planet with similar conditions," Sam explained. "Our bodies are adapted to handle it." The alien leader studied them. "Remove your helmets. The air is toxic," Lisa warned. "Not here," the alien said. "Our air is clean." Cautiously, Sam removed his helmet. He took a careful breath. The air was stale but breathable. "My name is Karn," the alien leader said. "We are the Norax. And you are the first visitors who didn't die on our surface in 1,000 years." The Norax led the humans deeper into their underground city. It was vast, with tunnels stretching for miles in all directions. Buildings were carved from the rock itself, and advanced technology was integrated seamlessly into the natural formations. "We were forced underground centuries ago," Karn explained, "when the solar flares increased, making the surface too radioactive even for us. But we survive. We adapt." "Have you had contact with other species?" Greg asked. Karn's expression darkened. "The ones who call themselves the Confederation found us long ago. They called our world a death world and said we were too dangerous to join their alliance. They place satellites around our planet to monitor us, but they never speak to us." Sam exchanged looks with his team. "That's why we're here. We're from Earth, another death world. The Confederation feared us too, until they needed our help against the Dracs." Karn's eyes widened. "The Dracs. We know of them. We have been monitoring their communications for decades. They speak of a great origin world, a place where the strongest species was born." In a secure room, Karn showed them what the Norax had learned. They had built powerful receivers to intercept signals from across the galaxy. For years, they had listened to both Confederation and Drax communications. "We are not the only ones," said a Norax scientist named Larn. "There are others like us, Deathworlders, as they call us. The Morith evolved in toxic oceans. The Char breathe methane and live in acid pools. We are all watched, all kept isolated." "But why?" Lisa asked. "Why would the Confederation do this?" Karn looked grim. "That is what we have been trying to learn. And now that you are here, perhaps together we can discover the truth." Greg studied the Norax database with growing excitement. "Captain, there are commonalities between human DNA and Norax genetics, specific markers that don't appear in Confederation species." "What are you saying?" Sam asked. "I'm saying that maybe we're more connected than we thought. Maybe all Deathworlders share a common origin." Over the next month, the Tenacity visited 2 more Deathworlds. The Morith lived in the deep oceans of their planet, where pressure would crush most species, and the water contained chemicals that would poison Confederation beings. The Char had bodies made partly of silicon, and could survive in pools of acid that would dissolve metal. Each time, they found the same story. The Confederation had discovered these species, labeled them dangerous, and isolated them from galactic society. "It's more than just fear," Donna said as the senior crew gathered in the ship's meeting room. "This is a pattern, a policy." Sam nodded. "The question is why. What are they afraid these species will do if they join the galactic community?" "I've been comparing the data from all 4 Deathworld species, humans, Norax, Morith, and Char," Greg said, displaying charts on the screen. "The genetic similarities are too strong to be coincidence. We all have certain markers that don't appear in any Confederation species. So we're related somehow?" Lisa asked. "It seems that way," Greg answered. "But the common ancestor would have to be from millions of years ago." Alan looked troubled. "There's something else. I've been studying the Drax technology we captured. It's not what I expected." "What do you mean?" Sam asked. "The Drax claim to be from a Deathworld, but their tech doesn't show the adaptations you'd expect. Their ships aren't built to withstand high gravity or radiation. Their weapons aren't designed for beings with our kind of strength." "Are you saying they're lying about where they come from?" Donna asked. Alan nodded. "I think the Drax aren't natural Deathworlders at all." While the Tenacity was docked at a Confederation repair station, Donna used her skills to hack into a secure Confederation database. She downloaded ancient records that had been sealed away for centuries. "I've got something," she told the others when she returned to the ship. "But we need to leave now, before they realize what I took." As the Tenacity jumped to safe space, Donna showed them what she had found. The records went back over 2,000 years, long before any of the current Confederation species had achieved space travel. "According to this, Deathworld species used to be common in the galaxy," she explained. "They were the dominant powers because of their natural advantages." Sam read through the ancient text with growing concern. There was a war. The Deathworlders against they call them Garden Worlders. The war lasted 100 years. Greg continued reading. Billions died on both sides. Eventually, the Garden Worlders won through superior numbers, but at a terrible cost. After the war, Donna said, the victors established the early Confederation with one primary rule. All Deathworld species would be contained and monitored. Any that reached space travel would be either incorporated under strict controls or eliminated. "That's horrible," Lisa said. "It gets worse," Alan added, reading another section. "The Drax aren't from a Deathworld at all. They're artificial, created by a Deathworld species called the Crawl as frontline soldiers in the ancient war. The Drax were engineered to fight," Sam said slowly. "But they rebelled against their creators and sided with the Garden Worlders. As a reward, they were given special status in the early Confederation." "So the Drax Empire's aggression," Donna began. is permitted, Sam finished, because they help enforce the quarantine of Deathworld species. They're the Confederation's attack dogs. But what about the origin? Lisa asked. Why do the Dracs worship it if they're not from a Deathworld? Greg found that answer in the ancient records. The origin isn't the Dracs' homeworld. It's supposedly the birthplace of all Deathworld species, the place where the first spacefaring Deathworlders came from before they spread to other harsh planets. The Dracs worship it because they were created to be like Deathworlders, Alan realized. They admire the strength they were designed to imitate. Sam looked at his crew, seeing the same understanding in their eyes. The Confederation hadn't welcomed humans as allies against the Dracs. They had brought humans into the fold to control them, to prevent another Deathworlder uprising. We need to contact the Norax, the Morith, and the Char, Sam said firmly. All the Deathworld species need to know the truth. The Confederation won't like that, Donna warned. Sam's expression was determined. They've kept us divided for thousands of years. It's time we changed that. Captain Sam Harris called an emergency meeting of all discovered Deathworld species. It wasn't easy to arrange. The Confederation monitored all communication channels, and the Dracs had spies everywhere. But with help from the Norax's advanced signal technology, they'd managed to set up a secure gathering. The meeting took place aboard the Tenacity Asterisk, which was hidden in an asteroid field far from regular patrol routes. Representatives from Earth, the Norax, the Morith, and the Chor sat together in the ship's large conference room. Thank you all for coming despite the risks, Sam said, looking at the diverse group. The Norax with their thick gray skin and powerful builds, the Morith in their water-filled environmental suits, their bodies flowing like liquid metal, the Char with their crystalline structures that glinted in the light. We've all been lied to, Sam continued. The Confederation hasn't been protecting the galaxy from us. They've been protecting themselves from what we might become. He shared everything they had discovered. The ancient war, the systematic isolation of Deathworld species, the true nature of the Dracs. Karn of the Norax spoke first. For centuries, we thought we were alone, abandoned because we were too dangerous. Now we learn that we are part of something larger. The question is, what do we do with this knowledge? Asked Morrill, the Morith leader. His voice came through a translator, bubbling like water. The Confederation has far more ships, more weapons. But they fear us, said Charl of the Char, his crystal body creating patterns of light as he moved. That fear gives us power. Lisa had been working with scientists from all 4 species, studying their genetic similarities. She stood to present their findings. We've confirmed what we suspected. All Deathworld species share certain genetic markers. We're all related, descended from a common ancestor. Greg added, the data points to a single origin point, the planet shown in the Drax Shrine, the true origin world. According to the ancient records, Alan said, this planet lies deep in what is now Drax territory. It would be nearly impossible to reach. The meeting was interrupted when alarms blared throughout the ship. Donna rushed in from the bridge. We've got problems. A Confederation fleet has found us, and there are Drax ships approaching from the other direction. Sam turned to the representatives. They must have detected our gathering. We need to decide now. Do we run and hide again, or do we stand together? The leaders of the 4 Deathworld species looked at each other. Despite their different forms, they shared the same resolve. We stand together, Karn of the Norax declared. What followed was a battle unlike any the galaxy had seen in thousands of years. The Confederation ships expected to find a single human vessel. Instead, they faced a coordinated attack from 4 different species, each with unique abilities. The Norax ships were heavily armored and could withstand direct hits. The Morith vessels moved with impossible fluidity, evading enemy fire. The Char ships absorbed energy weapons and redirected them, and the humans of the Tenacity Asterisk fought with cunning and unpredictable tactics. The Dracs, seeing the combined strength of the Deathworld species, broke off their attack first. The Confederation commander tried to continue the fight, but it was clear they were outmatched. "This is Captain Sam Harris to all Confederation vessels," Sam broadcast. "We don't want war. We want the truth. End your policy of isolation and deception. Recognize our right to exist in this galaxy." After tense negotiations, the Confederation Council agreed to emergency talks. For the first time in thousands of years, representatives of Deathworld species stood together before the full council. "We know about the ancient war," Sam told them. "We know why you fear us. But keeping us divided only breeds more distrust." "What do you propose?" asked the council leader, clearly uncomfortable. "A new alliance," Sam answered. "The Deathworld Alliance. We will agree to peace with the Confederation, but we will no longer be kept apart from each other." The council reluctantly agreed. They had no choice. The combined power of the Deathworld species was too great to ignore. As the new alliance was formalized, Greg approached Sam privately. "I've been analyzing all our data on the origin planet. I think I know where it is. And I think I know why it's so important." Sam looked at his science officer. "Why?" "Because," Greg said, "if I'm right, it doesn't just hold the key to our past. It holds the key to the future of the entire galaxy." 3 weeks after the formation of the Deathworld Alliance, a joint expedition set out for the origin planet. The mission included the Tenacity Asterisk, a Norax battle cruiser, Morith underwater exploration specialists, and char mining experts. "We're entering Drax space," Donna announced from the pilot's seat. "Everyone be ready." The small fleet moved cautiously. They had to fight through several Drax patrols that guarded the approach to their sacred world. But the combined strength of 4 Deathworld species was too much for the Drax to stop. "There it is," Greg said as they finally reached their destination. On the main screen, a planet appeared that made even the human crew pause. The origin was a nightmare world. Massive storms covered half the surface. Active volcanoes spewed lava and ash. The atmosphere was thick with toxic gases, and the radiation levels were off the charts. Most shocking was the gravity, nearly twice that of Earth. How could anything live there? Lissa wondered. "Scans show ruins on the surface," Ellen reported. "An ancient civilization buried under ash and rock." Sam made his decision. "We need to see it firsthand. Prepare the landing teams." Only the humans, Norax and Char, could survive on the surface, even with protective gear. The Morith remained in orbit, analyzing data from space. As the landing craft touched down, the crew felt the crushing gravity immediately. "It's like carrying another person on your back," Alan said, struggling to move in the heavy protective suit. They found the ruins of a vast city. Buildings made of an unknown black metal still stood after millions of years. Strange symbols were carved into walls and columns. "This technology is incredibly advanced," Karn of the Norax said, "far beyond anything the Confederation has." In what appeared to be a central structure, Alan discovered a control panel that still had power. As he studied it, the symbols began to glow. "I think it's responding to our presence," he said, "to our genetic code." When he touched a specific symbol, the floor opened to reveal a hidden chamber. Inside was a glowing sphere about 3 feet across. "It's some kind of data storage," Greg said, scanning it. "Incredibly dense. It contains more information than all of Earth's computers combined." When Sam approached, the sphere projected a hologram. A being appeared, tall and powerful, with features that seemed to combine elements of all 4 Deathworld species. "Greetings, children of Kadeth," the hologram said in a language that somehow all of them could understand. "If you are seeing this message, you have passed the first test." "Who are you?" Sam asked. "I am the last record of the progenitors. We were the first to leave Kadath, what you call the origin, and spread throughout the galaxy. We seeded many worlds with life, creating 2 distinct paths. Images appeared showing planets being transformed, life evolving. On some worlds, We created life adapted to harsh conditions, to forge strength through adversity. On others, we created life adapted to gentle conditions, to foster cooperation and compassion. Both paths were necessary for the experiment. Experiment? Lisa asked. To discover which evolutionary path would lead to greater advancement. Would it be the strong, adaptable Deathworlders, or the numerous, cooperative Gardenworlders? The answer, we discovered, was neither alone. The hologram showed scenes of war, the ancient conflict between Deathworlders and Gardenworlders. The war was expected, a test of both groups. The true advancement could only come when both paths recognized their shared origin and combined their strengths. Sam understood. That's why you left this message. You wanted us to find each other eventually. Yes, only by combining the strength and adaptability of Deathworlders with the cooperation and compassion of Gardenworlders can the next stage be achieved. What next stage? Asked Charl of the Char. The hologram changed to show technology beyond anything they had imagined. Worlds transformed. Beings evolved beyond their current forms. The ability to travel between galaxies. This repository contains all our knowledge. It will only activate fully when both evolutionary paths come together in peace. The conflict between you was necessary for growth. The cooperation is necessary for advancement. Sam looked at the representatives of the other Deathworld species, then thought of the Confederation Council. We need to bring them here, he said. All of them. Deathworlders and Gardenworlders alike. This isn't just our legacy. It belongs to all life in the galaxy. As they left the Origin with the knowledge they had gained, Sam sent a message to both the Deathworld Alliance and the Confederation. The war that divided us was part of a test. The only way to pass is to work together. Deathworlders have the strength. Gardenworlders have the numbers. Apart, we will remain as we.